A term I often hear when posting my videos about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu especially is stolen techniques. And I've recently made a bit of fun about it, like, yeah, how am I supposed to give it back? You know, give me the contact to the CEO of Japanese Jiu-Jitsu and I'm gonna put a nice package of techniques and send it to him. But there's a serious issue with that, okay? So many people complain about how BJJ or other styles have stolen techniques. And first of all, you have to realize that a style is not an entity. So BJJ literally cannot do anything on its own. People do things, okay? So the founders of BJJ, yeah, maybe, or other BJJ artists, or like judokas and stuff, okay? So, and then when people say, you know, BJJ, they stole their techniques from judo. And what about judo? Like Chigoro Kano. Did he just sit in a cave for a couple years and then just pop and then he invented judo? That's not how it goes. Okay, that's not how it goes. Styles progress. Okay? There's really not a thing that is invented in techniques. Techniques are discovered. Okay? So you discover a new way. And very likely, other people have discovered the very same way of moving. So every technique that you discover, every strike or every submission or every throw, very likely other people have done that before. And however you call it, it may make sense, okay? And it doesn't make sense to say, no, the real name of that technique is whatever it's called in another style. That's like if you take a chair, for example, okay? There's a definition of what a chair is. And in English you call it a chair, in German you call it a Stuhl, and certainly other languages will have the same concept and use another word for it. And for the matter of BJJ, Judo and stolen techniques, you cannot steal a technique. First of all, literally, because stealing means I take it away from you and you don't have it anymore, and I cannot do that with a technique. Okay? I can only copy it. But you guys try to avoid that word because it implies that somebody, some practitioner or the founders of BJJ have been so proficient that they have watched other practitioners and then imitated and copied their techniques and had success with it. They successfully copied that technique, which is a great skill. And much more so, they have learned those techniques. You learn techniques. You cannot steal them. You learn it. If you can do a technique, you can only legitimately learn that technique. There is no illegitimate way to acquire a technique as of yet. Whatever way you have of doing that technique is, in martial arts terms, legitimate. Even if you have spied through a hole of the dojo and then practice at home, well, that's legitimate, okay? It might be a crime, but it is a legitimate way of acquiring a technique in martial arts sense. And the founders of BJJ, they had legitimate training from a high-level judo practitioner and other high-level practitioners like of cat wrestling and other arts maybe. And the founder of judo himself, Chigoro Kano, had training in other arts of Japanese jiu-jitsu and had influence even from Western arts like wrestling. Most notably, kataguruma was a wrestling throw, and probably morotegari, the double leg takedown, as well. So all those techniques, and even like all the many different other styles, modern Muay Thai uses punches very much from boxing. They implemented those styles, those punches. They have not stolen it. They have learned it. They've watched, they tried, they learned. It's a legitimate way. Okay? And well, some of you might say, yeah, you have to give, you have to say of whom the technique comes. Okay? And that is very nice if you do. But then again, right? So if you ask a judoka where his technique comes from, they will say from judo. And nobody doubts it. Nobody questions them. Nobody criticizes them for it. And if you say, yeah, then it's from Japanese Jiu-Jitsu, who was the predecessor, like successor, the thing that comes before Judo. And well, but what was before Japanese Jiu-Jitsu? There was a thing before, okay? Cavemen have been fighting already. Animals have been fighting. If you believe in evolution or whatever you believe in, okay? Martial arts did not just come out of itself. It evolved. Martial arts evolved. There's no question about that. It didn't come out of thin air. And so people discovered technique. They have taught them actively to others, while other people have copied them and learned. And that's how it goes. There is no stealing of techniques. That's not even possible. Okay? There's just learning. That's a harsh truth. Face it. If you disagree with me, drop a comment or like make a huge video about it. See you next time.